Okay, welcome to the first of a two-part economic reasoning lesson for ninth grade civics. This one's going to deal with, are people logical? What makes people do what they do? And yes, psychology deals a lot with this, but in addition, economic reasoning makes things cut to the chase, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion, so we'll see how this goes. What is economic reasoning then? Well, the first thing is it relies on a number of principles. The first of which is this: trade is good when it's voluntary. An easy example of this is, think about you as a elementary school student and you're at lunch and your mom gives you two ding dongs. You don't even know what those are. Two Twinkies. And you don't like Twinkies that much, but your buddy has pizza. And you're like, ooh, I really like pizza. I'll give you one Twinkie for one of your slices of pizza. If you both agree on that, you're both better off because you both get what you want. On the other hand, with the voluntary part, if the school bully comes in and says, give me your Twinkie and pizza, and takes it, well, then you're not so happy. Number two, people do make choices. Every single second of the day, you're making choices. You're making decisions about what you want to do. Why are you here? Right this second, you've made a choice to show this PowerPoint to yourself, to follow through, to take care of your homework, to do what you need to do so you're ready for class tomorrow. Not every kid is going to do that. I'm not delusional enough to think that every kid is going to sit here and buckle down and get everything done. You've made that choice, and while we're sitting here, you're making a choice whether to listen or not. People are usually rational. In other words, you can understand why they make the choices they did if you understand the incentives that underlie them. In other words, what are they motivated by? A key mistake is to sit here and say, well, somebody doesn't do what I would, they're not rational. Well, maybe their motivations are different than yours. Maybe their morals, their values, their beliefs, maybe their goals are different than yours. And we'll come back to that later. Number four, choices involve cost. There is no free lunch. Nothing is free. Right now, you could be on Facebook, you could be watching TV, you could be playing video games, you could be sleeping, you could be doing a million different things. Instead, you chose to watch this. Had you chosen to do any of those other things, then tomorrow, if I give you a quiz on this, you would be failing. And that cost of playing Xbox instead of doing your homework would be a lower grade on the quiz. Number five, the system you live in influences the incentives. Let's break this down. The system, the rules that are in place, whether it's your parents' rules, the school's rules, the country you live in, those rules influence what incentives you have. If your parents say B's get keys, which is normal for freshmen, well then the incentive is pretty obvious. If I get a B, I get a car. The system my parents created give me an incentive to get a B. If your parents say if you're not on the honor roll, you don't get to go out, you don't get to hang out with friends, you don't get to play sports, whatever they are. So you start to look at kids that aren't doing this homework right now and you say, well, instead of sitting here judging the kid first, maybe we should stop and think about what system are they living in, what environment is created by their parents that allows them to feel okay with not doing what's required. Number six, this is the most important one. The choices you make right this second affect your future. It doesn't mean that learning about economic reasoning is going to make you successful or not. It means that what you choose today will greatly impact your future. Are you someone who every day sits down and gets what you're supposed to done? Are you thinking about your future? Are you planning? Are you getting good grades? Are you thinking about college? Are you thinking about a trade school? Are you learning a skill? Or are you sitting around playing video games, smoking weed, doing all the bad stuff? Again, the biggest costs are in the future. We're going to break down each of these. We'll get through about half, and then we'll stop, and then you'll pick up the rest in tomorrow's lecture. Trade is good when voluntary. Why? Number one, people can produce more when they concentrate on what they're good at. I am good at talking, or at least I talk a lot. Maybe I'm not very good at it, but I definitely enjoy it. So what do? I got a job where I talk a lot. I enjoy working with kids, so I concentrate on how to be a better teacher. I don't know how successful I am, but I sure work at it. In the meantime, that means I can produce extra. I can teach a whole bunch of kids. So there's a surplus. What I don't specialize then is how to fix my car. So when my car breaks down, I go see Tim's Auto Repair. Tim has two kids. I taught one of his kids. So I taught Tim's kids. Tim pays taxes. Those taxes pay my salary. I take some of my salary and I go to Tim, who knows how to fix a car, and he's an honest guy, and then I pay him for fixing my car. Both of us are happy. He doesn't have to teach his kids civics. I don't have to get my car fixed by myself, which would probably end in death. The extra is what I trade. I produce extra education in theory. That's kind of a bad example, but I produce extra of what I do, and then I get it for other services, whether I go to Culver's and get French fries for Charlie, whether I go get my car fixed, whether I go buy skates, whether I buy anything. What I'm doing is I'm taking the extra that I produce, which gives me money, and then I trade that for services and goods that other people use or produce. This means more people get it at a cheaper price because not all of us have to be experts on everything. What we do is we really specialize. Second, people make choices. You have alternatives. If we look on the right-hand side here, years ago, you had choices for video games. Do you want to get a Nintendo Wii, a PlayStation 3, or an Xbox 360? And based on your criteria for video games and your budget, what did you choose? Well, some of you chose a Wii because it's cheap and it seemed like it was more fun and you didn't care about hardcore gaming and playing with your friends over things like Xbox Live. Were you more into shooter games? Were you more into sports games? What were you looking at? For some of it, it's simply as much as what title was offered. What we really always do is this. What gives us the most and costs the least? So, if you get the most benefit from doing the dishes, that's what you do. If your mom always is like, oh, thank you for doing the dishes, and your dad doesn't care if you help him with yard work, well, what are you going to do? You're going to earn brownie points by helping mom. This is called economizing, and this is what we do every single second of the day. You only have so much that you can do. That's just the truth. Some people seem like they can do more, but a lot of it is just they're more efficient. They're able to do more in the same amount of time than somebody else. And so we always do this. We want to get the highest standard of living we can with the least effort. That doesn't mean we're lazy. It means why do a lot of work and get little results for it? And so you see this as we start choosing classes that we're going to take. We study the stuff that we're good at. Eventually, that's what high school does, in my opinion, is it starts funneling us into the stuff that we're good at. Boy, math is hard for me. So you start focusing on social studies. You start studying English more. You kind of take one of those routes. Boy, I am just not good at English and social. I don't like writing. Well, maybe math is good for me. Maybe tech ed. Man, I suck at using my hands. Well, get out of tech ed before you kill yourself. That's what I learned. People are usually rational. And this will be the last one for this lecture. People are usually rational. In other words, when given incentives, when given something that encourages them to act a certain way, people tend to do that. When we see a giant sale over on the right, what does that do? Well, we go, I could get more for less. I can economize. I should buy a car now. It is consistent with or based on reason. In other words, we can go back and we can say, all right, step A, step B. What is my goal? Does this meet my goal? Will I do it then? And for most people, they are always working towards their goals. Sometimes, because of a variety of reasons, and this is where psychology comes in, people make bad choices. They do things that are not functional. They do things that do not get them towards their goals over and over again. And that's where the field of psychology will take over a little bit more. Incentives encourage people to act. In other words, why is this lady crazy? Why is she absolutely nuts? And I got to be honest, if I was at Walmart on Black Friday, I would want to punch her in the face. No offense. Well, okay, offense, obviously. I just said I want to punch somebody in the face. Why do these people act like this? Because we create an incentive at Walmart on Black Friday that if you come in and are nuts and run and sprint, you're going to save a bunch of money. It actually gets people to act irrationally. Mr. Korkish's wife got so caught up one year that she bought a TV. It wasn't on sale and it wasn't the TV she wanted, and she didn't realize it till she got home. But she got so caught up in these incentives of great savings if you buy today that she came home with a TV that wasn't even the right type. When people's incentives change, the choices they make will change. When I had a son, all of my incentives changed. I stopped being worried about me. I stopped being worried about coaching as much. I stopped being worried about looking cool. Not that, trust me, I've never looked cool, so that's not a big deal. But everything changed from focusing on me to focusing on my kid, and then all my choices changed. I don't want a new car unless it's safer. I don't want to spend a lot of money because I need to save for his retirement. People make good decisions. I shouldn't say good decisions. People make decisions that make sense. And that's the end of this one.